Most PC cases are just metal boxes that hide your components, but this thing is basically a stage for your hardware. The first thing that hits you is that missing front pillar. It sounds like a small detail, but when you're looking at your build from the side, that seamless glass corner makes a massive difference. It feels like the components are just floating there, completely unobstructed. Lian managed to pull this off without making the frame feel flimsy, which is honestly a relief because nobody wants their expensive GPU sagging because the case lost its structural integrity. What's really impressive is how much room they've squeezed into this footprint. You can fit massive graphics cards in here. We're talking over 450 millimeters of clearance. If you're the type of person who buys the biggest, beefiest cards on the market, you won't be fighting for space. They also added these L-shaped RGB strips along the top and bottom edges. They aren't just tacked on, they look like they belong there, and the lighting is surprisingly soft and diffused rather than those harsh, cheap-looking LEDs you see on budget cases. Building in this is a dream, mostly because of how modular it is. You can shift the motherboard height, which is a lifesaver if you're trying to squeeze a thick radiator at the top or bottom without hitting your RAM or cables. It's that kind of flexibility that makes a build feel custom rather than just a collection of parts. Cable management is usually the part where people lose their patience, but the dual-layered clips and the extra space behind the power supply bracket make it almost impossible to have a messy back panel. That little 15mm protrusion for the PSU is a genius touch. It gives you just enough breathing room to shove those thick 24-pin cables out of sight without having to force the back panel shut. Now it isn't perfect. Because it's so glass-heavy, you're going to be cleaning fingerprints off this thing constantly. If you're a perfectionist, keep a microfiber cloth nearby. Also, while the airflow is solid, you really need to commit to a full fan setup to get the most out of it. It's not a case you just throw a couple of fans into and call it a day. But if you're looking for a centerpiece that makes your hardware look like a piece of art, this is probably the one to beat. It's refined, it's spacious, and it's clearly designed by people who actually build PCs. It's a bit of an investment, but for the aesthetic alone, it's hard to argue with the results.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.